This place belongs to all Canadians. It belongs to you. But after a decade in power, Stephen Harper thinks it belongs to him. So now, this place is broken. Today, I'm presenting a real plan to fix it. Thomas McCare wants us to spend years wrangling over the Constitution. But I know Harper and his government are the problem. And the way to fix this place is to change the government, not the Constitution. Replace this government with a better one. That's what the real change starts with. Our plan creates a truly transparent and open government that will put an end to the secrecy and scandals of the Harper decade. Of course, it will reform the Senate, but it will also do much, much more. After all, Harper broke a lot more than just the Senate during his decade in office. We'll open this place up so you can see what's going on, hold us accountable, and contribute more directly to what happens here. We'll shift power away from the back rooms to make sure your MP will be your voice here in Ottawa instead of Harper's voice in your community. But most of all, real change means we'll give our parliament, our government, and our democracy back to you. Come to realchange.ca to find out how we'll do it and how you can help.
Yeah, little comic relief for you guys tonight. I know you guys missed that fella while he's jet setting around the world with Katy Perry, pretending that he did nothing wrong and everything's correct. And, Canada's just running smooth. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just bringing you up to date on one of the breaking stories that is coming out of British Columbia at the present moment. A lot of people are starting to put this around through the rumorville. And I'll let you know, I am kind of armchair quarterbacking this a little bit. I will have a special guest dropping in here in a little bit to kind of elaborate more on this. But at the present moment, we're talking about Mark Carney once again in the news, trying to bail out the housing industry in British Columbia. A lot of people do not remember, and I don't expect you to remember, because I can honestly say that my spidey senses are tingling that this is the reason the onset of the vid was brought in and implemented in Canada, was put under the most stringent of all guidelines across the globe. Nobody else had the same curfews and lockdowns and things such as we had. And I believe that it was to bury this story. And one of the biggest part about this is I was kind of covering this story a little bit back in 2018 when it was starting to unfold. And then I got wind of somebody who was on the panel that was doing the investigation into the money laundering scandal in British Columbia with regards to all of the housing market increases, the cost of living and everything in BC, and how badly managed it was. There was a commission put together where people were bringing in evidence. And I want to bring this up first. I want to share this screen quickly with you and just say critics are blasting government plan to bail out sagging condo sector in British Columbia. As they talk about it, BC is facing a glut of empty condos. Thousands of Metro Vancouver units are sitting empty, and some developers are facing insolvency. Now, some housing experts are questioning a plan by the federal and provincial governments to buy some of those vacant units and turn them into affordable housing. But if you go here, how much of this is really a way of helping out the industry versus, I think, a bailout in terms of bad business decisions by some of these developers? Asked Andy Yan, an urban planner and director of Simon Fraser University's city program. Yan has a lot of questions about the plan Mark Carney has and BC Premier David Eby to buy vacant condos in priority growth areas and turn them into affordable housing. The federal housing minister has not yet provided a cost estimate for the program, and spokesperson said that will be worked out in the coming weeks. What we're seeing, ladies and gentlemen, what's going on here is a cover-up, and a major cover-up at that. We have a cover-up because what you do not know, because a lot of us were under lockdown, a lot of us were, not able to go out and catch the news, or we were more concerned about keeping food on our tables because, if you didn't go to work during those times, well, times were tough. But as we look at this, I want to bring up this piece. No, not that one. Let me bring this one up. And I've got the file all loaded. It's called the Cullen Commission. And the Cullen Commission is a money laundering in British Columbia final report as of June 2022. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what happened was, and I'm going to cut it right down. There was an increase of foreign interference within the housing market in the greater Vancouver area. It had ties to the triads. It had ties to Chinese operations. It had ties to Mexican cartels. It had ties to every nefarious dealings within the criminal element that runs the world. And at that time, during that period between 2001 and 2017, the Liberal government was in charge of this crisis, this market in the province of British Columbia. And now you have one of, if not the biggest scandals going on in Canadian history. And I'm going to share this final report here with you. As I scroll down, give me a second. Of course, my computer is going to freeze a little bit. How did I not know that? I should have expected that. Let me put it back up here. Okay. So now all of a sudden my Adobe is going to freeze up. Let me just see if my computer will catch up with it here in a second. I don't know why it did that. Oh, look at that. Now it actually disappeared from my screen. Let's pull it back up again. Let's put it over here. All right. We'll use it on the other side of the screen. All right. And when I share it, it freezes. So I'm going to go scroll down a little bit. And in fact, while I leave that up there, because for some reason my Adobe wants to freeze, I'm just going to break it down to you in brass tacks. The Cullen Commission, officially known as the Commission of the Inquiry into Money Laundering in British Columbia, was established to investigate the extent of the money laundering in British Columbia and its impact on our institutions, economy, and public confidence. The Commission's final report, released in 2022 by Commissioner Austin Cullen, found that money laundering had become a significant problem in British Columbia. Criminal organizations were able to move and clean large amounts of money through sectors such as casinos, real estate, luxury vehicle purchases, and certain financial networks. One of the most alarming findings was the role of organized crime groups, including individuals and networks associated with Chinese triad organizations. Evidence presented during the inquiry showed how underground banking systems and transnational criminal networks were used to move funds between Canada and overseas jurisdictions. These systems allowed large amounts of cash to enter British Columbian economy while avoiding traditional banking oversights. The Commission heard evidence about what became known as the Vancouver model, a process where cash generated through criminal activities was loaned to high rollers and gamblers in British Columbia, casinos. The money would then be transferred through underground banking networks, creating opportunities for laundering proceeds from crime on a massive scale. We're talking billions of dollars a year, hidden in the housing market, which then increased the housing markets, it then inflated the housing market. The Liberal government was involved with this. In fact, it shows witnesses in this report that even Christy Clark, the Premier of British Columbia, was well informed of what was going on. And the Liberal government within British Columbia was involved. RCMP members were involved. Huge organizations in British Columbia were caught in a huge money laundering scandal, bigger than anybody would have ever known. And it is still going on. And now you have these condos that aren't selling because they were probably purchased through the proceeds of crime. And now the gangsters want their monies back. And what do we have? We have Mark Carney going and being friends with China. And, now he's making deals with China. And now he's going to use your taxpaying dollars to reduce the impact of what they're experiencing in Vancouver. No, and I see it the way I see it, and you can change my mind if you want to, but I can see it as hiding it as a payoff to these Chinese diplomats that are influencing our governments and money laundering. And let's not forget the massive amount of fentanyl that comes into BC. Let's not forget all the busts of all of these cartel super labs that were in BC. And now you have Mark Carney trying to hide these wrongs within this, with your tax dollars. So the commission heard evidence about what has become the Vancouver model, a process where cash generated through criminal activities was loaned to high rollers. The report also noted that these criminal networks often operated across international borders, making enforcement difficult and requiring cooperation between Canadian and foreign authorities. It is important to note that while the commission examined evidence involving individuals connected to Chinese organized crimes and discussed concerns about foreign influence, the Collin Commission did not conclude that the government of the People's Republic of China was directing or participating in the money laundering operations. Pretty convenient. But we do know how involved they are, and that's just the tale of the tape that's out there in public knowledge. Rather than findings focused on criminal organizations, underground banking networks, and weaknesses in Canadian regulatory and enforcement systems, the commission concluded that British Columbia's institution failed to adequately detect, deter, and prevent money laundering for many years. It made more than 100 recommendations aimed at strengthening anti-money laundering measures, increasing transparency. Now, I want to go to a certain section in this, and I think it's just comical that it's freezing up for, I can't show you this, but I'm going to leave the link in the comments for everybody out there. We're going to put the link in the comments so you can actually go and read this 18-page or 1,800-page document. I'm just going to go to the table of contents here, and I want to pull up the players. And it's going to go, but I'm going to drop this down. I want to show you also, to back up this statement, I'm going to show you this. This one here is right here. All right. So TD Bank has been fined $3 billion US after pleading guilty in historic US money laundering case. Guys, this has been happening in Canada for years. We are the money laundering capital of the world. We have taken in every foreign crime boss's money and laundered it through our real estate, through our gaming casinos even. And it's getting worse and worse and worse. Now, during the time that this report came out, which is the Collin report, what were we going through? 2019 to 2022. COVID. And interestingly enough, this was all buried during COVID to try and slip it under. And now you've got Mark Carney, the banker, coming in and trying to bail out his buddies. We also have hint that Brookfield Asset Management is coming in to add more fuel to the fire in this project. And the downfall to this is our country has been manipulated for decades from both sides of the bird, both wings of the bird, conservatives and liberals. Both sides of this bird have been corrupting Canada with their backroom dealings. And as Justin said in the beginning of this video, we're going to open the doors to transparency. Both sides are guilty in this. And this is what my point is. My point to this, bringing it up for everybody out there, is, first and foremost, this government institution hates you. They only like you for your taxes. They don't care about you. They don't care about what you're doing. They don't care as long as you are producing. Oh, hang on. I just got my message of my special guest coming in. Okay, so 5 minutes. All right. Now, as I look through this, and I want to go deeper into this commission report, but for some reason it wants to hold off on me on my computer. I'll pull it up on my phone because my phone, basically the housing prices accelerated dramatically, particularly in the Vancouver area. Foreign capital and speculative investment became major public concerns. The casino cash transactions later examined by the Cullen Commission largely occurred. Critics argued the government was slow to respond and warning signs involving money laundering and housing speculations. Now, I'm not reading your comments right now because I'm trying to focus on the story. I will come to your comments here in a little bit. I've got you guys closed off right now because I'm focusing on this story. There is a lot of speculation, and I'm at the point now that it's not much speculation, but actually a lot of facts in this Cullen Commission of the players that were involved in it. And I'm going to close this one down. Where's my mouse? I'll close this one down, and then I'm going to stop sharing that, and I'm going to open this. Pardon my language. It's interesting that this is going to freeze up. Pull it up on my phone because I have both copies of this report on many files because I don't want to lose this one. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm a firm belief that this is the reason we were locked down during the COVID. I'm a firm believer that restore. Interesting. Okay, so names that we have on this, and I'm going to show you. I have all the names, and if you download this Cullen's report, and you go to Appendix F, you will see the names of these. Number one that stands out to me really big time is Christy Clark. Christy Clark was the former premier of British Columbia at the time that this report was being investigated. What do we... whatever. So we've also got James Cohen, Executive Director, Transparency International Canada. Rich Coleman was the former Minister of Public Safety and Solicitor General, former Minister of Housing and Social Development, former Minister of Energy and Mines, and Minister responsible for housing. That's a big name, and then people need to remember that name, Rich Coleman. Then we keep going. You get down into United States involvements. And I'm going to go Chief Operating Officer. No, that's not it. President Strategic. The Attorney General, David Eby, is involved. So the Premier of BC right now, David Eby, is the Attorney General at the time. Former opposition spokesperson for gaming. David Eby is involved. Chris Elgar was the Vice President and Deputy Superintendent of Financial Institutions, Prudential Supervision, BC Financial Services Authority. Then we get into Border Service Agents, Sherry Lynn Foran, Director of the Appeals and Enforcement Litigation Division of the Recourse Directorate in the Finance and Corporate Management Branch of Canada, Border Services Agency. Gordon Friesen, former Manager of Investigations, BCLC, former RCMP officers. Richard Fife was the Deputy Attorney General at the time. Ladies and gentlemen, the names on this list, these people should all be in bloody jail. Now, parliamentary immunity is a real thing. And I know a lot of people out there, they don't think that it is, but this is a direct sign that parliamentary immunity has protected these people from corrupting our housing market, for inflating our Canadian dollar, and by laundering money through our financial institutions in Canada, and are getting caught for it, and not anybody is listening. Not anybody is watching. And I firmly believe that COVID was brought in strictly for that exact reason. I believe we were locked down because this report came out and we were told not to go out anywhere. And then guess what? Media was blocked off our internets. We weren't allowed to go into our share our news reports. The downfall to it is Emeritus. I'm trying to get right to it because there's a lot of names on this, but I want to namely call out the United States involvement. And former officer RCMP, no, not that guy. Michael Levy, the professor at Cardiff University. Professor David Lay, the University of British Columbia, Key Lee, former Edgewater casino employee, these are witnesses that are testifying that this all happened. Senior officer and money laundering expert, National Crime Agency in the United Kingdom. These people are all testifying. Executive director of the BC Ferry Authority, director of land titles and Survey Authority of British Columbia. Oh, and what do we got now? We've got financial land grabs happening across British Columbia. You've got land grabs happening and big money changing hands in all of this. Head of the Future of Financial Intelligence Sharing Program, the Russi Center for Financial Crime and Security Studies. The amount of people involved in this Cullen report should put the fear of God in every Canadian. The downfall is this is why we are in the mess we are in for the last 10 or 12 years. We are in this mess because a liberal government has allowed this corruption within its own institutions, within its own banking financial systems, and within its own under its own roof. And they continue to keep protecting their own, and the parliamentary immunity keeps going through more and more and more. Now, ladies and gentlemen, these people need to be in jail. Mark Carney is blatantly in front of your face trying to bail out the criminals by giving $3 billion of your tax dollars into this housing crisis that we have, when in fact it has been escalated and trumped up by criminals. Now I got a special guest just jumped in the room. I want you to, Jamie has been digging into this and he has huge insights on this. So Jamie, welcome in. How's it going, buddy?
Pat.
How are you?
Hey, man. Doing well. Been a long time, man.
It has. So, Jamie, you've been into this. You're looking into this. You've seen it.
Hold on. Mm-hmm. Before, are you still doing this for fundraising purposes only?
No. But they are still down there for PatKingAppealFund@gmail.com.
Oh, no. No, I was just joking, Pat. I haven't talked to you in a long time, man.
No.
I've been pretty busy. You know, a lot of things on the go, as everybody knows. And, you know, I've been really quiet, as you might as well know. And there's so many things happening. I just honestly, it's kind of mind-boggling, like between, you know, the UK, what's going on in the United States right now. Like, you know, Donald Trump just made it literally so anybody that's been in the United States for under 2 years can be deported immediately. They do not have to be at the border crossing or anything. Like if you don't have ID and you're not supposed to be, you're in the lost and found box, guess what? You're getting thrown out. So it's pretty interesting to see how everything's unloading. And then, you know, with the Keir Starmer stepping down, I mean, Pat, yeah. Dude, it was so crazy in the UK. Like, but you know what? Here, let's get into Canada. You know, I was doing a lot of digging. Got up at 4:00 in the morning yesterday, and you know, when I got spare time, that's what I do. I start digging into things, and found the Cullen report. I sent it off to everybody that I know, and I got to be honest. Like, what I found in there is so compelling, and the simple fact that nobody's talking about this. Right. This is like I think the biggest scandal in Canadian history. Like, and that's just not even an understatement. When you have over 200 witnesses, everywhere from university professors to RCMP, former RCMP, special intelligence officers, you name it, people from even the United States, the amount of people that were involved in this commissioner report, and then the findings of them basically saying, like, BC, this is really bad. Like, this is a cesspool. This is a sewer dump. And honestly, like, we have massive money laundering in British Columbia. And I personally think, like, the timing of this is so insane. Like, you think about this, Pat, the first report before the Cullen report was done in 2019. This is right around COVID. Like, I would honestly think that the precipice and the gravity of the situation in BC right now between, all of this mortgage fraud. You got lawyers involved, you got banks involved, you've got dude. The reality is there's, I don't even want to put a guesstimate, but let's just say this has been going on for the last 20 years. Okay. How is any young person ever supposed to go and afford a home today in British Columbia or even in other parts of Canada where this money laundering has been going on? Right? They've been using corporations, creating legal fictions, opening bank accounts, and then literally buying up real estate and laundering all the cartel money, the money from your these casinos. Everybody knows about the casino scams. Well, they just moved from the casinos right into the real estate market. Realtors involved. Like, I encourage every single. This should be the biggest story in Canada right now. This is bigger than SNC. This is bigger, in my opinion. Like,
this is a
why
key.
is it
Right there? TD Bank fined $3 billion US after pleading guilty in historic US money laundering case.
Yeah.
And
So if it's
crickets.
Exactly. So here's the thing, right? Put yourself in a young person's shoes, Pat. Like, if I was 30 years old today, coming out of school or college, and I have to go buy a home in anywhere pretty much in BC, you're not going to qualify because there's no job. Even a person that's working as a single dad, as an RCMP officer, he can't even fucking qualify, bro, unless he's got a significant down payment, right? And this is all courtesy of your CPP money laundering scam with all hey, you know what? They're busted. This is so busted and it is so ridiculous. It's like, okay, so now what? And now Mark Carney is bailing out like these developers because they know it's over. Like, the whole thing's toast. And I don't even want to know where this lands, but I see obviously an instant and a for sure 20% real estate correction. I feel terrible for anybody that bought a home in the last 10 years in British Columbia, especially the island, Vancouver, the Okanagan, because that's all part of the massive inflation. Like boy, Pat, we got a lot of work to do. And, Carrie Ann Finley, God bless her. She's she did a post this morning. I sent the links to a whole pile of people. She's telling everybody about the Cullen report. The part that's really challenging, Pat, is how come nobody really brought this up anywhere? Like, there's the $1 trillion question. Think how many millions of houses are in the Lower Mainland, Vancouver, this and this and this, and everybody's sitting on these properties thinking that they've won the lottery. Well, go try to sell them. Go see who's going to be able to qualify for those mortgages within the next 9 months. You watch, man. We're going to see a big fallout, and I feel so bad for so many people because at the end of the day, it's our leadership's fault. It's our politicians' fault. It's our bank's fault. You name it across the board. These people have failed in gross negligence of just really being asleep at the wheel. Either you're either absolutely stupid or you're involved, one of the two. And I'm going with you're involved, right?
Well, I look at Carrie. You brought up Carrie Lynn Finley. Money laundering has inflated property prices here in British Columbia. David Eby only needs to read the Cullen report to see the practical steps we must take. He doesn't need to read it. He was part of it. He was part of the Cullen report. Like, the man had testified in the Cullen report as the Attorney General of British Columbia at the time. So now the NDP and their federal partners have announced yet another plan using taxpayer subsidies to buy up vacant condos for developers. Guys, this is what my point was to this, is the fact that these guys, the days of parliamentary immunity have to be over. These guys are caught with their hands in the cookie jar in such a profound way that our economy has been affected over the last 10 to 12 years due to this.
Well, and you got to think about this, Pat. They've always used this word, we're doing creative financing, these realtors and these brokers, the greasy lawyers involved as well, because everybody's taking a little cut of this pie, right? So it's kind of like what they've done is you have a decapitated economy that's using its real estate market through nefarious activities to try to stimulate it through, subsidizing this. They're subsidizing shitty wages with real estate fraud is really what's going on.
It's basically,
so that, and it's creative financing, my ass. These are people that or, you know, setting up corporations. They're shell corporations. They're moving real estate. They're moving their dirty money through it all. And it's got to come to an end, you know. Right in that report, they have the recommendations. They say we need to have basically like a czar overseeing it. They have to implement some. It's right in there. And I'll tell you what, like, Pat, we know what needs to be done, and it really comes down to, it's called. You want to talk about truth and reconciliation? Let's start there. Let's stop lying. Let's stop all the bullshit. Like, let's stop pretending like, you know, we're these friendly little Canadians that don't do anything wrong. Well, let me tell you something. Every single person that is in Western Canada, and I could only imagine what Toronto looks like, because Toronto's got to be way worse, right? So that's it. And you know, I hope that people really take this seriously, because at the end of the day, this is your grandchildren's future, right? Everybody that's alive right now, you know, a lot of these people like, oh, it ain't gonna matter. I'm not gonna be here in 10 years. Well, good for you. You know, thanks a lot, asshole. You know,
Right.
thanks for destroying, you know, a lot of young little kids' children's future, right? Because at the end of the day, we don't even really know how deep this goes.
It's not
Really.
even the fact that our future, it's even our past. This has made
Yes.
such a huge impact on just
Yes.
the past 10 years within Canada that we
Yes.
are in this mess right now due to the fact that this corruption has been happening across Canada. We've been screaming it from the rooftops,
Yeah.
and nobody's willing to actually put the rubber to the pavement. And we're trying, we're hopefully something come out, you know, in the near future.
Well, the thing is too, is it's like, okay, so do we have laws or do we not have laws? Are we a lawless society where everything goes, and as long as somebody's getting paid, it doesn't matter? Like, really, is that what we want to be known for around the world, is just a lawless society? Well, ask yourself something. If you got Kuzma on the table and all these other things, who wants to go into business with a lying, cheating crack war? Because really, at the end of the day, you know, what can I help you with? Pardon? I don't have a minute. I'm busy. Oh, is that my wallet? Let me see. Oh my God. Where'd you find this? Oh my God, you're amazing. Here, let me give you some money, bro. Just hang on.
Yeah, you bet.
Somebody just returned my wallet. So here, bro. I appreciate that. Here, take it. Take some money. Look at this. So here we do have some honest people.
I was just gonna say, man, oh man.
Like, if this was anywhere else in Vancouver, you know, I'd be surprised if this would have come back. You know, thank you very much. What's your name? Tyler? Pleasure to meet you, man. Calgary, I'm on my way to Calgary too. Are you going to be catching the flight?
No, that's home for me.
Oh, but you're flying there today. Oh, that's where I'm going. Well, I'll see you on the plane. I'm just on the live feed here. Yeah. Tyler, pleasure, man. I appreciate your help. Wow.
Holy
Look
shit.
at that. This.
When you do good things, you get good things happen. That's a sign right there.
Yeah, and here's what's crazy, dude. I got probably $5,000 cash in this wallet, and the guy didn't take any of it.
Shit.
I got U.S. funds in here, Pat. I got Canadian funds. I got pesos, because I'm usually bouncing around all over the place, right? All my credit cards, like, dude, this guy he just earned himself $100.
You just gave me some faith in humanity right there, man.
Right?
That's awesome.
So this is the level of honesty, and it's so weird how this just happened, right? It's like, we are taught things in life, and I'm this dude. I just fucking like, seriously. So
Right?
So that's the level of honesty we start needing to have in Canada, right? Is where people
Within our government institutions, for sure.
Totally, man, absolutely. Like,
they need to give us our wallets back.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Like, I didn't. Dude, I'm blown away that just happened, all while we're having this conversation.
You can't
right?
make that shit up.
So I'm at the Kelowna airport right now. I had to come here for some business, and then I got to head off to Calgary. But did you also see what happened here? The Antifa, all those guys just got sentenced over like 400 years, Pat.
Yep.
Like, the head of Antifa got 100 years, and then these other people got like 50 years, 30 years, 30 years, 40 years. I'm just like, wow. So, you know, it'd be great if our law enforcement and our courts in Canada, again, Pat, started treating the laws that we already have on the books. It's not like we're inventing this stuff here. This stuff has been in our system and in our courts forever. It's just like nobody's enforcing anything.
We have
so the land,
like the worst mob situation where they're paying off judges, paying off lawyers, paying off officers, paying off, like everybody is being paid off through your tax dollars, and they're walking free while corrupting you, or corrupting our banking, our financial institutions, our housing markets, our resource markets. They're corrupting it.
Well, think of this, Pat.
And we're the ones
think
that
of
are
this. I just did a side note just to dig into this. Think of this, for example, just the Kelowna RCMP alone. The Kelowna RCMP alone get $83 million.
$83.2 million in their
I'm like,
budget.
For what?
Right?
For what? Like, we have, like, come on, guys. Like, seriously, you guys they're the biggest grifters. They're the biggest grifters of all. Well, you allow all of this shit happen, and then you, like, it's just hush money? Is that what you guys are doing? You guys just have hush money jobs? Packing around guns and badges and judges and all getting hush moneyed out. Well, you guys fucking rock. You guys are real rock stars. So anyhow, I mean, that's kind of where it's at. We got laws on the books. Like, it'd be great to actually see them enforced. Like, seriously.
And like you said, with this example here, we have a huge group of Antifa members in Canada.
Oh, totally.
Anti-Hate Canada is like the cesspool of Evan Belcourt's little cult minion of Antifa, anti-fascists. These people are the unhinged left.
Oh yeah, they're nuts.
As far as terrorist events, this is what they were charged with. They were charged with terrorist incendiary devices. A bunch. I read the report. The main leader got 100 years in prison for terrorist attack on a base facility, and then 7 additional defendants got a total of 450 years. We're breeding this in Canada, folks. These are
we're funding
left. And
we're funding it.
$45 million from Justin Trudeau's own budget went towards funding this. This is what I'm saying. I'm saying right now, Canada, we need to step up the game. These guys are moving that forward and more, and eventually it's going to go. It's good. Well, not even eventually. I almost think it's gone too far. That you're going to clean up. We're going to have to do it ourselves.
Well, hey man, I'll tell you this. You know, a lot of people ask me, they're like, "Hey, Jamie, so what's going on in the UK? It looks really bad over there." I'm like, honestly, it's way worse here. It's way worse here. And I don't know if I lost you there, Pat.
No,
there you are.
No,
yeah, no.
It felt like there was an impacting thing coming, and I wanted your face to be the one saying.
Oh, it's way worse here. It's way worse here. And just because the difference is, I'm going to tell you the difference, you guys. The difference is the people in the United Kingdom are so fierce. They're so on top of it. They're paying attention. They're fighting. They're not rolling over. They are not giving up. They are not giving in. These people are shoulder to shoulder, arm in arm, literally. And they're not backing down because they love their background. They love their heritage. They love their country. They love their family. They love their friends. And they're exposing everything. Like everything's getting uncovered there.
To the point that they even got Keir Starmer. He's done. He's resigning because of it.
Oh yeah, but it shows the power
of the people, right?
Yeah, it does, Pat, and like that's why it's so important for Canadians now that some of the stuff, like, it's worse here. I'm telling you, it's worse here. The thing is, you guys, and you got to understand this. We have, what did they report? And this is just a guesstimate number, over 500,000 unvetted illegal migrants in Canada right now. 500,000, and I guarantee it's way more than that. Way more than that. So think of this. You activate that right in the UK. What is it? Our migration rate in Canada is much higher. We're at like 25% right now. Okay, 25% of our population, not even from Canada, and those people are allowed to vote. Pardon me. Like, what do you want to do? Like, displace? Like, totally lose control of your society and your culture and your courts and your government and your you guys, like, knock knock. The UK has less of a percentage than that, Pat, but yet what's the difference is they that was oh man, that was so crazy.
I was just gonna say this is just recently, and
Are
Jamie
you
was
watching
here.
Kia
Jamie was at
Starmer?
this.
This crowd, that helicopter goes from here for miles. Today, I want to ask you all something. Are you ready for the Battle of Britain?
Oh, see, man.
2029, we have an election. We're not asking anyone to go out and fight, but this is the most important moment in our generation. If we don't send a message in our next election, if you don't register to vote, if you don't get involved, if you don't become activists, we are going to lose our country forever.
Dude, that literally, like watching that, Pat, brings tears to my eyes. I will tell you this right now. Never in my entire life, like the other day, I was reflecting on that and I was in tears because I truly can't believe I was so honored and so blessed. Like, I never in my life, I'll tell you something, you guys, listen. So many people, they want to do music because they want to sell albums and all this bullshit, man. All I ever wanted to do as a small kid, I remember, just have a song that meant something, that brought people together. And I'll tell you, to go to London and march with those boys and the hooligans, man. They call themselves the hooligans. Dude, it was truly the greatest, one of the best experiences of my entire life, and I'll never ever forget it. And I am so proud of what was accomplished by everybody, Pat. Like, I mean, there were so many speakers there, and that's what we need to do in Canada. We need people to find their courage, find their tenacity, and say enough is enough, and tell their stories and not be afraid of Bill C this and Bill this and Bill that. Like online hate speech, and like, we're not hating anybody, man. There's nothing wrong with telling the truth. And we are still allowed to legally protest in this country, and we are allowed to tell the truth, and we are allowed to tell our stories, and we are allowed to say, no, man, this is not cool anymore. Right? Like, and you don't have to fight with violence. And look what we did in the UK. Millions of people, millions of people. And you know what? Wow. I'll tell you, Pat, we need that in Canada. We need it so bad. And I think people want to do it. I think they're afraid. I think they're broke. I think they're tired. I think they don't even have enough money to get to work in the morning, to put in their car in their gas tank. So if there ever was a time, to unite people, whether it's in Alberta, every province. I mean, every province has a poopy diaper right now.
Oh,
There's something
absolutely.
going on in all of them, right? So,
Thanks.
the challenge is Canada's such a big piece of land, where in the UK, there's so many people in this confined area. It's easy to have a snap. It's easy to have a snap rally. Like, you can make one tweet and boom, 200, 3, 4, 500,000 people show
I'll
up.
hop on the train and go to London for the day.
Oh, it's so crazy. I love it. And you know what? I really feel that was one of the other reasons I had to go there, was because, I knew in my heart what happened to Tommy Robinson was just an absolute, it's a disgrace to law. It's a disgrace to freedom of speech, freedom of expression. And you know what? I love that guy. He's such a good person. And the amount of risk that he's taken, just like yourself, Pat, and went to jail and been persecuted and all this other stuff. I will walk, just stand with Tommy Robinson, and even yourself, Pat. People talk stupid shit about you all the time. Well, you know what, dude? I didn't see them going to jail. I didn't see them, actually doing time in jail. And Pat, you actually spent time in jail. A lot of these people were there for like 10 days, 12 days. Like, that isn't doing time in jail. Okay. Like, come on, let's get real here. You can do a month in jail standing on your head. It's when you get into that 3, 4, 5 months, and it starts to grind you out a little bit. And
that's when she starts to feel a little bit in the thorn.
Yeah, you're like, wait a second, right? Because that's what they want to do. They want to break people down. They want them to be afraid, and they weaponized our legal system and the courts. What did they say? The process is the punishment.
Oh boy.
Right?
Oh boy, that
You know
is
what I
so
mean?
true, too.
You know, and I don't know what's going on with you know, everybody else in the Freedom Convoy. You know, I message people, they don't really ever engage or contact, and kind of makes me wonder, you know, like, it's interesting. I'll leave it at that, but I'll tell you something, Pat. You know, with what we found, or what I found in BC yesterday,
Yeah.
boy, oh boy, like, if there wasn't a time, there never will be, because all that is like a 2,000 page report, man. 2,000 pages, 200 expert witnesses from all over the place, man. And you know, all the exhibits. I think, how many exhibits were there? Like 1,200 exhibits, or 1,100 exhibits in that study as well.
Yep. Now,
So,
chat, I just put the it's in the YouTube chat. I think it's going to come up for the Facebook chat. Yeah, there it is. I left you the link in the chat, guys, for the Cullen Commission for you guys to use. Dig it up, go through it, search through it, and yeah, it's profound how bad this frickin' situation is. And like I said, Jamie and I have had the conversation. I firmly believe that this is why we were under such harsh lockdown conditions during this time of the release of this.
I honestly think so too, Pat. I think between that and them wanting to steal the election, did you see My Pillow guy?
Mike Liddell, yeah.
Yeah, so remember they were trying to sue him for like $300 billion because he did his own investigation and his own thing.
Yeah.
So they sent they dropped their lawsuit now. So what does that say?
Oh,
dude, they dropped their lawsuit today. So now Dominion Voting is like, okay, so you know what? Where there's smoke, there's fire. I believe this. I believe this whole COVID thing is all a big scam. It always has been. It always was. We always knew that. But there's so many elements to it. Like, they needed to get Trump out. They wanted to fucking, you know, that was their biggest goal, get him out. And what a perfect way to utilize that in BC. Do you know, Pat, listen to this, man. I got family and friends, women that are certified bona fide nurses. Bona fide. Went to school, did their deeds. Some people 10 years. They still can't even go to work in BC.
Still to this day because of the COVID mandates.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So you're lacking nurses in BC, are you? But yet you won't hire them back.
Here, I'll tell you something else. Check this out. So Sherilyn, that's my little sweetie pie, her daughter, she's a nurse. So she decided, you want to hear a story? This is something so tragedy. Just check this out. She decided, you know what? I don't want to get the vaccine because I don't trust it. She's a senior nurse. You know, she's my age, 46 years old. She's like, I don't want to get the vaccine. So she didn't do it. They fired her. So she stayed at home, looked after the kids. Listen to this, Pat. She got in a major car accident, got a major traumatic head injury. She can literally never work again. Oh, and because she got fired from her job, she doesn't qualify for any disability benefits from the Ministry of Health in BC. And ICBC is not covering her for any sort of anything, man. Not even her, she has to go for therapy and stuff like that. They gave her like a year of little therapy. She has no income now, no nothing. All because she didn't get the jab. Jeez. And even if she didn't want to today, she still couldn't go get her job back. And I mean, she's got brain damage. She almost died, man. She had to get air vac out of Williams Lake.
That is unreal.
So this is firsthand, and there's so many stories like this, and this is why we need to come together, like we did in London, and we need to find 50 speakers and let these people, give them their 5 minutes, give them the stage, and let them tell their story about what happened to them. Because you know what? We don't have to live in fear, man. We don't have to live in fear, and we don't have to be afraid. You know, at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with telling the truth and telling your story. And you know what? Maybe they just don't want to hear it because it's so impactful.
September 21st is the day that Parliament takes back to office after the summer break. I feel what a great moment in history.
Are you thinking about really?
Yeah. So September 21st, on the day that they go back to work, we have a rally with a bunch of people on stage, a couple bands, and we welcome them back to work with our stories. And we welcome them back to work of why we are who we are and how we became who we became.
But
And
are you still on probation or anything? Like what don't you have conditions, Pat?
No. I have one
Really?
recognizance, and it's to keep the peace and be of good behavior.
Oh boy. Well, hey, well,
keep the peace. Peace. You have the right to a freedom of peaceful assembly.
well, this will be interesting. Anyhow, listen, I got to run here, Pat.
Hey,
I
man,
got to jump on my plane.
Safe
So-
flight. I appreciate you jumping in and giving us your 2 cents on this, man. Always appreciate it. Thanks, Jamie.
Yeah. Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye, guys. So here we got, Jamie, a close friend of mine, as we all know. He held me together while I was in jail. We talked lots. He held my campaign down to have me, funds being allocated to where I needed them. And one thing I want to show you is a lot of people missed out, but this is one of a proud moment that I feel Jamie deserves, but didn't get the recognition that he deserves. And I want to show it and share it with you guys. Check into the column report, ladies and gentlemen. I want you guys all to see it. Go in there and understand that this is probably the reason why we were locked down so hard, and also the deciding factor as to why Carney wants to give his criminal underbelly $3 billion. Pretty interesting. Where is it? There we go.
The next gentleman who's about to perform here has become a friend. He's not just become a friend. The name of his song is very important. Civilian Soldiers. Every one of you in this fight is a civilian soldier. Okay? And Jamie has not only come here to perform, but he also helped to fundraise towards this event. So Jamie, take the stage, son. Rock 'em.
Hello, London! What an honor it is to be here today. This is absolutely amazing. I am so thankful to be here today. Today, the song Civilian Soldier speaks for itself. You know what? This song means so much to me. The frequency of love is what we need right here and right now. So I want to say a little bit about this song. This is the song that I had to write. It's been keeping me up all night. It's all wrong. What's going on? I'm just doing all I can to make it right. And you ask me why I stand up and fight? Freedom. Freedom. Let's hear it. Freedom. 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 Let's hit this song. Come on, London. This is the song I had to write. It's been keeping me up all night. It's all wrong. What's going on? I'm just doing all I can to make it right. And you ask me why I stand up and fight. I do it for love. I do it for freedom. Without the love, life there's no meaning. For my sisters, for my brothers, the working man and all the single mothers. Our country whose eyes are getting colder. It's gonna take a lot more of us, civilian soldiers. We trust our country to a higher power to keep us strong in our darkest hour. Some want to win, some try to fail. For all ones just as well prevail. And they might think we're all half asleep. We're following the trail of deceit. That's why we fight to keep our freedom, freedom, freedom. We do it for love. We do it for freedom. Without them both, life would have no meaning. For my sisters, for my brother, the working man and all the single mothers. For a country whose African older, it's gonna take a lot more of us.
As we sit and we hear Jamie perform over in England, this was back in May. I was actually trying to get over there as best I could to be there. Ladies and gentlemen, save the date, September 21st. September 21st, if things work out possible, we are going to put an event such as this with the exact same content, with the exact same meaning, with the exact same drive to send a message to Parliament that Mark Carney is not in control of us and that he is not a legitimate prime minister. It is time that we as Canadians start to back each other. And I know everybody out there saying, well, Pat, you're the biggest sower of division. No, in fact, I'm not. I'm definitely weeding out the rats. I'm definitely weeding out the moles. I'm definitely weeding out the fake ones who are driven by political drive. That's what I'm doing. Because it's the politicians that have put us into this mess. And if you're in bed with politicians, you have no place in this movement. That's my message. Thank you, everybody. Welcome in and have a good night. Save the date, September 21st.